Okay, I'm going to change my lesson at the top here because we're actually going to go into lesson 13 and 14. Okay? Now in this lesson, we really are challenged to take what we really feel good about, that place value section model. Remember how I showed you how to take 2-digit numbers and multiply them and how to show that in your place value box method? Okay, but now I'm going to show you a fancy schmancy way of putting the work you know how to do into a number sentence that can look kind of like big kid middle school math. It looks like algebra math, okay? So let's write out what we did in this problem, okay? So I'm going to say the words that describe the steps I used to make this box. As I say the words, I'm going to write what I say so it makes it into an equation, okay? We're going to take a look at that equation and realize that that fancy, kind of scary looking equation is really what we've been doing all along. It just can look different depending on how it's written, okay? So we're going to start with where our box method, where we would go first. And the first thing we would have done is taken that top left box, 20 times 40, okay? So I can write that like this. I'm using my special algebra sign for my multiplication, and here's what I'm going to do first, okay? Then, after that, I'm going to put this answer up here so I don't lose it, and I'm going to erase this addition math so I have enough room, okay? All right, so I did 20 times 40. Then the next thing I did is I took 20 times 9, okay? So this is box 1. I'm actually going to cross it out. Box 2, cross it out. Box 3, 2 times 40. So I can show that like this. Cross it out. 2 times 18. Cross it out. Now remember, I erased a bunch of numbers right here because after I did all the multiplication, I had to take each number out of the box and add them together. So 20 times 40 will give me a total, and once I have that total, I need to add it to 20 times 9. So I'm going to add those two totals together. Then I'm going to add this total with those. So I'm going to add that together. Then I'm going to add my last total with all the others. So I'm going to add that together. And there you can see my skinny little equal sign. This could be an equation that shows what I did in my box method. Did you know that you were doing such smart, fancy math? You were. But it looks more simple maybe to your brain and to your eyes when you see it like this than when you see it like this. But this is exactly the same thing as this. And this is exactly the same thing as this. They're all just different ways to do the problem. And guess what? Your mom and dad, they don't know this one. Nope. You know it and they don't. They may or may not remember how to do this one. They probably saw this one when they were in school, but it probably got a little tricky for them because they were trying to remember it all. But what's different about you is that you understand what this means. And the way you learned what it means is through your place value box, okay? So these all have a name, okay? This guy right here is called the shortcut. That's the shortcut that most of your moms and dads use more than anything else when they're doing multiplication with 2-digit numbers. And there's nothing wrong with using it that way. Nothing wrong with that way. But you need to understand what you're doing when you do it that way. You need to be able to do your math talk, explain place value, and all of what's happening, okay? The reason we learn this way is so that we can understand what we're doing this way. And then you can use whichever method fits your brain. Doesn't matter to me as long as you understand what we're doing and why, okay? This one is the place value box. That's my favorite. That's totally different than the way I grew up learning math. If someone would have taught me this, I would have been a much better math student because I tried to memorize how to do these things and I would forget. I wouldn't be able to remember it all because there's lots of steps and you have to remember your zero, you have to get everything just right, and if you make one mistake, the whole problem's wrong, right? Down here, this one has a name as well. And this is the one that looks fancy, can look confusing, can make us think we don't know what we're doing, but really, if we just follow step by step by step by step, we can see that this is exactly the same as what we did up here, right? This is called the algebraic. And that is just a fancy word for big time math, right? Algebra is a kind of math you're going to take in middle school and high school, probably more like high school. And so this is the kind of stuff we do, stuff with lots of parentheses, kind of funny signs for multiplication, all of that. Now, we maybe even take this algebraic long one and take it even, make it shorter, okay? So let's look and see if any of these numbers are being multiplied by the same thing. So I see a 40 here and a 40 here. So I see that I'm going to take 20 times 40. I'm also going to take 2 times 40. So I'm going to put the 40 first, and he's going to go times 20 and 2, right? 20 and 2. So I'm going to cross them out. Then I'm going to add, there's nothing the same here, so I might need to just add this guy. 20 times 9 plus 2 times 18. And I'll put my little equal sign over there. So this could kind of get spooky, like a super big Halloween problem. Ooh, scary. Freak me out. Don't know what to do. Can't do it. I've never seen math like that, and it's going to overwhelm me. Don't let that happen. This is exactly this. You take 20 plus 2 will give you what? 22. And you can take 40 times 20 and then 40 times 2 to figure it out. If 40 times 22 is too big of a number for you to do in your head or to do mental math, then just leave it broke apart. 40 times 20, 2 times 4 is 8, so 8 plus your zeros is 800, plus 40 times 2 is 80. So those two together, plus 20 times 9, 2 times 9 is 18, plus your 0 is 180, plus 2 times 18. 2 times 18 I know is 36, but if I didn't know that, I could break my 18 into a 10 and an 8. 2 times 10 is 20, plus 2 times 8 is 16. Now I could add all this together, and it should give us the same number that we got above, okay? So that's just another way of doing that math, okay? Don't be scared.